recital. We are here today to listen to a baby.
Quiet! We're trying to listen!
Sorry.
Also,
Oh, there she
fortunately,
is, the baby.
they're also unfortunately not as... Oh. They don't appreciate her music.
I love how she's supposed to be like 9, like she's almost 10, but she acts like she's like 5, and the fandom treats her like a toddler.
I mean,
the other thing. Okay.
10-year-olds can be big brats.
Not true.
Also, this gag here.
Bacon staff!
Oops. I love that.
Why does she have a giant ear? Who knows?
Why doesn't she have a big ear more often?
Jeez. I like to believe they drew that just for this scene.
Oh, of course.
Probably.
Like there's that, and then there's that whole bunk bed junction pose that they did back at the beginning.
Also, one thing I'm going to say I don't like that this game has over the demo is this part right here. Oh, like right here, she gets all intense, but... Okay, so it's time for you to talk a little bit about the history, about the big history I have with this game. Was my first introduction to this game at all was a random gameplay demo that landed on YouTube. I want to say around 2018, 2017, late 2017.
Right.
And that was the thing I showed Hype and James long before this game ever came out. I was like, oh my gosh, this game looks like I would want to play this game. It was the Yinu. It was like an alpha demo of Yinu's gameplay. And sorry, the thing I was talking about, Al, was that in that original demo, when the music, when the music finally kicks in, instead of looking all angry, Yinu more smirks, like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember.
And I don't know, I like that.
Like that is one thing
I'll find that footage for you.
I have seen it before.
Because I felt like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do
feel like
wish
that would
they...
have fit her personality.
I mean, I could kind of
do
understand,
think so.
but there was a part of me that does kind of like the whole...
Just like, oh yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, especially the whole I'm the Golden Maestro thing. But anyway, as far as Yinu goes, we get to... two bosses in the game are like this, and I dislike it for that reason, is the music is great, but the only way we can deal damage to the boss is by using these range projectiles at first, and now she has backup.
Yep, from Mother Dearest.
Mother knows best.
Jeez. Why does she echo so much in here?
I mean, this is a very big, arena.
It's a big room. She's a big woman. It lines up.
Yeah, it's the acoustics, but yeah. So now the main phase of how we're going to be dealing damage for the time being is we need to... We need to get Yinu's mom out of this picture right now, and to do that, we need to first distract her by causing Yinu's piano to fall.
Can I just say that you're basically opening a automated turret at a child?
Yeah.
It's the piano I'm after.
A super intelligent child.
If I'm swinging my arms wildly at the piano and Yinu gets hit, it's her own fault. I'm aiming at the piano. Also,
still, this kind of counts as... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, yeah, you first.
I was gonna say, this still kind of counts as child endangerment.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, there we go. Nice. I mean, that's a whole another issue. Oh, and actually, that's a mechanic that James and I just now discovered. One of the main perks of doing co-op is whoever starts transforming the transformable will be the one who gets the effect. So if Mayday starts playing first, it'll become one of her offensive ones, and if Zook starts it first, it'll be one of his support ones. But after you start transforming it, if your friend joins in, you'll transform it like twice as fast.
Yeah, no, there's that co-op can really help get those transformables out much sooner.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
And it really does help considering again those those notes in particular. Like, if one hits you, it's gonna pretty much end up in a string.
Can I just say, like, from an art perspective, I really like the stylized shading on the mom that's come up a few times. It's like, it's not totally blended like the Spotlight is. They have, like, a more, like, segmented cell shading thing going on, and it's just really accentuating the shapes, but not really confusing anything. It's just really... It just works stylistically. So much of this game just works stylistically.
I think so too.
It does. Again, the effort was clearly there. It's just whenever people talk about this game, ourselves included, it's like great visuals, great music, gameplay could still use work, but even then, it was an honest effort.
And it's probably one of the better. As somebody put it, this reminds me of maybe not so much an indie game, but this reminds me of like the old like AA, like the old PS2 era, like games that like experimented and tried.
Oh,
I can see the influence.
Yeah, and I mean,
it definitely is a stylistic choice.
Right, and you know, I mean, we've definitely seen a bit of a resurgence of the quote-unquote like second. What would you call it? Double budget?
Yeah, double A.
Double A
budget. Or something like that.
Yeah, double A budget.
Like
doubling batteries, basically. But yeah, no, like we've seen a slight resurgence of that style of gameplay as of recently. Like not just this, but some time ago we also had Super Lucky's Tale, which also got a upgrade version on the Switch and other consoles.
Yes, which I've been enjoying as of lately. Really adorable game.
Oh yeah. And that's right. The thing I was going to say earlier, Al, was it was something that Zero Punctuation brought up that I'll admit I have to agree with him, is that as far as EDM goes, I don't quite understand how this is initially EDM. Like it should just be piano, at least. But it's when the mom gets involved that suddenly we go into like dubstep territory.
I mean,
especially when she gets all like, especially when she gets really crazy here in a minute.
Yeah.
Right. Like, a part of me gets the feeling that the only reason that Yinu is, you know, a part of this whole group in the first place is because of the mother's involvement in the EDM portion.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I mean, that's a theme throughout this whole little encounter, is that I don't want to. I don't want to say it's the old trope of, oh, the parent is putting all of their dreams and responsibilities on the child, but it's definitely, once we look more into the story of the background, you'll understand why the mother feels so connected and so attached to Yinu keeping up with the piano.
Right. Just Yinu keeping up with her passion.
That, and it allows her to remember something. Uh-oh.
I feel like at face value, it's really easy to see this as a overbearing mother. Oh, and then there's the I'm convinced this is a Metroid reference. It
looks like it.
It does kind of feel like it a little bit.
Especially, like, the whole... I mean, this reminds me of Mother Brain, but yeah, it's easy to see this at face value as, like, an overbearing parent trying to live vicariously through their child, but when you do get into Yinu's story, you see, like, why Yinu loves piano and why she got so into it in the first place, and how her and her mom connect over that.
Actually, if you don't mind real quick, since you made that comparison, just to completely ruin the mood, and then my son will be the greatest musician in all video game land.
Oh no, not that.
What?
Who's the son?
Wait, is that from Captain N?
Yeah.
Oh no!
And yeah, I meant to say daughter, my bad.
You know, now that you mentioned all that, Al, someday we should have you on board for some of our Metroid outings.
Yeah, like, have you ever played any of the Metroid games?
Yeah.
Let's see. I did not get the chance when they were coming out. I am looking forward to Metroid Dread.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I'm ready to have this shit scared right out of me with that game.
It's gonna be great.
All I know is Samus cool.
Oh,
yes, she is.
Samus always cool, unless they give her some sort of whiny personality.
Jeez.
And then only other thing we can talk about this boss right now is, again, just use ranged projectiles as best you can. Make sure you're leveling them up, because melee focus is going to happen until a little bit later. And dodge the piano keys. And lastly, you saw me do it earlier. One other like secondary trick I found is when she summons the mines right here. Try and leave one of the tentacle branches to hit the mine. And I couldn't get there. But if you do that right, the vine will take damage, including her. But we did it.
Oh, cool.
Doof.
Wee-hoo-hoo!
We're actually almost done with this.
Soaring,
Look at the sky.
flying.
Well then, let's stop this show.
Forgot about that. I forgot about that series.
All right, let's do this right.
Oh, the guitar bad.
I really love Mayday's
break
guitar.
it down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually kind of sad that... Well, that gets into different territory, sorry.
Oops.
No, you're fine. We just got jumped.
Huh?
What?
I hate you all. I'm so
So, yeah, we still have one last phase of the fight.
Charge ahead.
Thank God we can actually stand on this thing. Gravity be damned.
Yeah.
It's video game logic. It's the rule of cool.
Jeez. And just try to keep everyone alive. Stay together, because if James goes
Zook.
down, then we both go down.
Yeah, there's no way for us to heal ourselves while going up Eden's path.
Jeez. And I believe at this point, even if you die, it would still count against your score if you had to continue.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, nothing in that matters really at this point. But
and
that said,
listen here.
You okay there, Zook? You looking a little green.
Well, he's always green.
I always love that little abrupt ending.
Stop it! Kabong! And
That's literally it is. It's the kabong effect.
yeah. And then that's
And now they're gonna die.
Yeah, that is the River City Girls moment of not our brightest idea, huh?
Really wasn't.
From this eye. Maybe if we turn our bodies just as we land.
The piano.
The piano.
What's really important here, I think, is that Yinu's mom, like, even though the piano is so important, Yinu's mom goes for her and not the piano, and I think that's what...
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Ow!
That's what it's just like,
We
yes,
survived
they're
this somehow.
a mom and daughter, and they still love each other. It's not all about the music.
And again, somehow we survived this. They don't show us landing. We're just
To be fair,
alive.
we've survived worse.
Ow.
One thing I don't understand is how Mayday's braids are working there. Like, they hang down still,
That's
and
the
they
cool
clip
part.
through
They-
the ground.
It's
like her
I just
body
chalked that up to
is-
budget.
Yeah, like, her body is impacting with the ground, but her hair is not.
Do you have any idea what you've done? Oh, you're still talking? Why don't you come here and say that?
May, you almost killed her kid!
Bring it!
You're talking to a literal tree goddess here.
Right after you tried to kill her kid.
Wait.
This moment.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the more bittersweet moments of the game, that's for sure. Also, yes, Matt, I know that face was kind of weird.
It was a thumbnail, but again, it's her coming to grips and realizing she had to remember what was important.
Right?
Right.
And I like that they just let this be a moment in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Mayday and Zook don't interfere with this anymore. They've
They've done enough.
Like, even at the end when they're getting ready to leave, they just let this be a moment. Like, they don't try to step on it with a one-line or anything, it's just... Yeah.
Although at the risk of ruining the moment ourselves, I'm surprised the piano is still in functioning shape.
I mean, it's
game logic.
It's in half, but as long as the hammers get the strings, but there you go. And then, again, one last little detail is Yinu is part tree thingy, because that's why her hair forms natural bouquets like that.
Right.
But, yeah.
And I like that the music also seeps into the results screen.
All in all, James, your thoughts on that boss?
I mean, emotionally speaking, it works.
I just remember it being real crazy to try.
Yeah, no, the fight itself can definitely have its harder moments, especially with that last third, where, you know, she literally becomes literal tree ribcage with literally mother heart.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're able to take that out.
Yep, and that's another one off the list.
Arpeggio.
And we take a withering yellow rose for our trouble. And a photograph.
Oh, the photograph.
That'll be our first.
Yeah, that was Yinu
again,
with
I
her
will
dad.
show off.
That's why
I will show off all of the. I will show off all of those again. But yeah, that introduces the fact of. Millions and billions and billions and billions.
You know, I just want at one point when it comes back to this, you just see DJ just like just giving up at this point. It's being like, you know, it's not so bad up here.
Haven't we already seen him literally drift off into space at one point?
Oh yeah, during the newscast.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, I just got it.
Yoga hurts.
Floating. All right, let's do some leveling up real quick because we are gonna. Oh yeah, actually, it's pirate radio time because yeah, we're gonna do some pirate radio and then we're gonna do some briefing and then we'll stop after that. But yeah, basically we're just gonna tackle as much as we can, and then the next part we're gonna do some cleanup and get ready to go up against our next hot shot commando.
Dude, his socks match his shirt.
Hello, people.
I just noticed that his socks have a pattern on them.
It does kind of look at the pattern on his shirt.
I actually learned the other day that pirate radio is like a federal offense in the U.S.
Pirate radio?
Yeah. It's like when you...
as in like
yeah, like
using
you
a
haven't,
bandwidth that you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you haven't registered it or like, you know, paid the fee for it or whatever. That's considered like that's considered a federal offense.
I mean, not terribly surprising.
Hey, Jenny. Also humorously, whenever that happens, Zam's mouth, like, he'll freeze in whatever animation he is. But, I don't, I forget who voices Jenny, or if it was just a small, like, side character they did.
I think it's a side character, because I don't remember any other character in the game so far named Jenny.
Me neither.
We don't really...
In a way, I'd say it's May. In a sense that she does most of the running, and I do the running after her.
Yeah.
Thanks.
At the very least, he trusts her enough to not keep her on a leash.
Yeah.
Of course.
Maybe she should be.
I'm more of a buy-the-book kind of guy.
I mean, she is kind of a little on the unhinged side.
That doesn't really put a damper on what we want to do as
But
a
boy, does it
Yeah.
lead to some eventful weekends.
I agree.
Oh, of course.
Music shouldn't be bound to any rules.
Yeah.
Although, I am still pissed that Zook is using NSR.
Yeah, okay, so we talk about that a lot. We learn a lot about how he bought the drumsticks, and that's what they use. I would love if there was some more like detail into like how Mayday decided to create and or build that guitar, and like what goes into it, what's the cartridge for. I would love to learn more about that.
Yeah, they never do. They never touch upon that. Like, I would like. I don't know. Like, make it a thing where maybe it was a hand-me-down from her folks or someone else.
Maybe it's
Right,
something
I
she's
just- I
just been
would be
tinkering
interested in
with since she started playing music, and that's why it's so important to her.
That could
Right, I
be
thought
it.
that'd be neat.
What would you respond with?
I didn't. James and I agree that I didn't want to have Mayday be completely like a
Blinded.
jerk to Zook. Like they
Right.
clearly they have some. Clearly they work, and I feel like she would at least support him with whatever he wants.
Yeah.
It's not her band; it's their band.
I mean, it was sort of obvious enough with when we first fought DK West, but I guess the only real time where she's got to put a foot, like, draw some sort of line, it'll become more obvious later is when we deal with him, like, the other two times.
I do like that she gets that little dig in there because it's like still early in the game, so she still needs to grow a little bit. So
Oh, of course.
it's good that they have that little dig just in there at the end.
You, Jenny.
You
I
dig?
guess the last thing I could say is I am kind of bummed that because of how this works, I'm bummed that this is all entirely optional and could be missed.
That is true. There's a lot of flavor text you can miss out on in this game.
There's just so much
Yeah.
neat little character moments that you would normally see unless you're just like a completionist and you explore everything.
Oh, and actually that's super important because we now finally broke 15,000, which means I
time
can
to
now afford.
break out the
provide
big
with-
upgrades.
Yep. So I want.
Hell yeah.
What do I want actually? Let me put
Actually, I
this
just
out.
realized
Oh, that's actually really good.
The next level isn't for another, like, 10,000, so crap.
Yeah, no, but we have all of our platforming ones. But yeah, we just got a really good important one for us as far as like support wise. Now, if we're fighting a boss and we decide to just stay in place and not move, we'll start playing our music idly, just like an idle animation. And while that idle animation plays, we start building our like magic meter up faster.
Which is very helpful,
Super
considering how often you'll be using that thing anyway.
Especially the heal, especially for ranged combat, especially for our big supers. So, I guess, but that's it. Again, this is mainly what you're seeing here is our cleanup. So let's see if we can check out that new. Oh, that's right, because I believe, not me, but you now have a ranged attack with Arpeggio Assault.
Yep. Basically, if you don't have any shootables at that time, you can just make some of your own.
Yep, and then I'm going to use these stickers, because why not? I want to feel like I'm playing Subspace Emissary again, darn it.
I just love how she yeets it.
Yeah, just straight up bats it out of the park.
Another personality thing with her is like the inconsistency on like swearing. Like she'll say bulldozer, she'll say slimy possum, but then she'll just say pissed.
Well, I think to be fair, that's because a lot of people, at least nowadays, don't consider piss to be a genuine swear.
I remember
really
being so astonished when I was watching regular show.
And they said
I learned that
pissed.
No, I think they said piss, but they also said crap, and I remember like.
Well,
right?
crap I think is a little bit more.
Word anymore?
Yeah, I was about to say, to be fair, crap I think is a little bit more generally accepted.
Yeah.
I was checking to make sure.
But I mean, being a kid watching Cartoon Network at that time, it was just like, they're saying bad words. Later they redubbed it to saying you ticked me off for like the British release. But then they ended up airing that in the reruns in the US too, so they don't say pissed anymore on Cartoon Network.
You know what? You say that about the UK dub.
We gotta talk about this real quick. So here's our next big
sensation.
Yeah. As many people have dubbed them, the Robo Teletubbies. This is 1010. It's playing to the same silly trope that we've seen made fun of, where it's like, oh, boy bands are like, they're practically manufactured now, mass-produced. So here we have literally mass-produced robotic boy bands, helmed by their leader, Neon J.
Who himself kind of looks like a robot.
He's a
fun thing I learned
cyborg.
out. Cyborg is different. Fun thing I learned out is Neon. The name Neon J. Neon is the 10th element of the periodic table, and J is the 10th letter of the alphabet.
Hence 1010.
It's all freaking puns with these guys. It's all tens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I also love how they avoid giving 1010 an age because they're robots, but they gave Sayu a hologram character an age.
I'm sure it's important to someone. Also, last thing I can say is there we go. Last thing I can say is I think 1010 and Neon J are voiced by the same people.
Oh yeah, it's the same guy. Like Mohammed Azul, he voices all the members of 1010, and he also voices Neon J.
You saw that? He freaking ate her lunch.
No, that's inconsiderate.
Also, that dude snuck into our sewer.
Yeah.
A lot of people sneak into the sewer. Like, sometimes you'll just have people in the sewer.
And it's like, the more the merrier, I guess.
They just let people wander into their house. I guess nobody steals from anybody in here.
We're all family.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We are now officially past the halfway point. We got plenty more artists and plenty more conflicts ahead of us, but seeing as we're about to have ourselves another rap battle, we're going to make sure that we get Madden on this, since DK West is one of his favorite, character,
And he's still a little salty that he missed out on him the first time.
Wait, is that why I've been hearing a scratching and pounding outside the door for the past 10 minutes?
We have to break through. We better run.
He just wants to talk to you. Probably.
It was Logan's fault!
Tell next to everybody.